Welcome and thank you for tuning into this episode of the Cougar Spotlight podcast, wherever you may be and however you may be watching on the CACC network or on our official Caldwell Athletics YouTube page. I am your host, Nick Iacovo. We have a jam-packed show for you today. We're going to be talking some softball in just a few seconds. Lexi Peto is coming in studio as well, giving her thoughts on women's soccer as well as how her recovery has been going from her knee injury. Chennaya Tschopp also comes in studio as well, giving us a preview of the St. Peter's Relay Invitational. But let's talk softball to kick things off. Softball has been on an absolute heater, winning 4 of their last 5 games, including 2 walk-off wins against Assumption, one by Amanda Preston, the other by Brooke Martin. Currently, as it stands, the leading batters for Caldwell's women's softball program, Lindsay Oler, a rookie, the rookie of the week, actually, currently batting .353. She's ranked 16th in the CACC. Grace Vonderchek, you probably all remember her name. She's currently batting about .324 on the season. Brooke Martin as well, another senior. And then Ashley Tavaska as well. Martin and Tavaska both batting a net .300. Tavaska, though, also has 2 home runs. Katie O'Connor's been the leading pitcher on the mound, throwing .376 ERA, currently ranked 11th in the CACC. Softball, they had a brutal start, to put it lightly, from their Florida trip. But they have been picking up some momentum. As I said, they've won 4 of the last 5 games since they've come back to Jersey. They are incredible. They are absolutely incredible, our softball roster. And it's a big credit you have to give to head coach Lindsey Meyer. This is a team that very much is a young team. When I went back and I checked their roster, 0 juniors. Not a single junior on that roster. If you are not a senior, you are a freshman or a sophomore. When you have that young of a roster, there's going to be some growing pains. And I think you saw those growing pains very early on in that Florida trip. But since they've come back, they have proven resiliency. They are never out of a game. That is a big thing. You can never count out this team because they can score runs in bunches. And they've got senior leadership all over the place. Tavaska, Vondracek, Martin, Klein. These are seniors that not only are big-time leaders, but they're big-time contributors. Again, Vondracek, Tavaska, and Martin, that's 3 of your 4 leading batters on this team. That's all seniors. They're incredible. Absolutely incredible. And they've gotten some big production out of the youth. As I mentioned, Lindsay Oler leading this team in batting average. Top 20 in batting average in the conference. Just won Rookie of the Week. She's been absolutely outstanding. Tavaska leads this team with 2 home runs. Only one other player on this team has 1. They are absolutely incredible. Pitching-wise, they've been great. They've been great in the bullpen. And again, there's a big thing that comes with momentum. When you are feeling good, you can do almost no wrong. And when you consider that the last 5 games they've played, in those 4 wins, 3 of them, they've scored 6 or more runs. That tells you all you need to know about this team. They are terrific. Momentum is a real thing, and they're gaining it, and they're gaining it at a big time. They currently, as it stands, they are 7th in the conference in batting average. They are 7th in the conference in terms of pitching ERA as a whole. This is a team that, you know what, they can start out at the middle of the pack, but it's the early road of the season. And they're going to pick up some momentum. There's some big wins that are on their schedule. They have a doubleheader, 2 doubleheaders, in fact, this weekend. They got a doubleheader tomorrow against Southern New Hampshire University, and then a doubleheader on Saturday against Chestnut Hill. Both of which are 2 teams with 9 wins, but both of which are 2 teams that I think they can easily beat. They certainly can beat. If they continue the string of momentum that they've gotten, being great at the plate, doing some big things on the infield, getting smarter in terms of infield play. But also, if they continue this hot streak, I mean, again, 4 batters on his entire roster are batting over 300. 4. Martin and Tavaska, Vondracek, Oler, all great players, all have been outstanding. They have some studs on the infield. There are some studs out there. The outfield's no slouch either. As I said, they're a team that's got stars all over the place. They can play well. And I think truly, softball more than ever, they have got the real makings for something special. Cougar Spotlight Podcast will be back in a few short moments. Lexi Peto is just around the corner. After that, we have Chennaya Tschopp in studio. Don't go anywhere, folks. Welcome back to Cougar Spotlight. Our guest in studio today, for the first time in 2025, she is a named captain on our women's soccer roster, inarguably one of the most clutch performers on the entire team. Lexi Peto in studio today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. It's great to have you. And obviously, there's been a lot of talk around you the last 2 seasons. Been dealing with some injuries. First and foremost, how has your recovery been so far?
My recovery's been going good. At this point, it's very repetitive, but you just have to go be strong and just climb. And honestly, just be strong throughout all of it.
Missing the last 2 seasons due to injuries, particularly towards your knee area, what has kind of been the psyche for you that's allowed you to stay in the game for so long, to keep making sure that you're all right?
Well, first and foremost, I love the game soccer, and I love doing all these athletic and fitness kind of things. And honestly, my whole team being there to support me, my coaches, my family, makes me want to go further. It makes me not want to stop.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. And then when I went back, me and you were talking a little bit off mic before we sat in today. The last season that you fully played and completed from start to finish, quite the year that you had. CACC all-tournament team started 17 of 18 games, team high 6 goals, 2 assists, led your team with 14 points, had three game-winning goals that year. What did you feel like when you reflect back on 2022 and you look at that year that you had? What does that resonate with you, and how do you expect in 2025 to build upon that?
I just want to be better than I was that season. I came into that season very not really caring what anybody thought of me, getting away all the negative thoughts, and going through an injury. Obviously, that's very hard, but for the upcoming 2025 season, I'm planning on doing that again. Just whatever's happening right now, put it in the past and just move forward.
I want to take you back to a date you probably remember best. October 31st, Halloween 2022, CACC quarterfinals against Jefferson. You scored the go-ahead goal to advance Caldwell. Walk me through that moment when you were getting the ball and getting ready to score that goal. What was going through your mind during that time?
Well, honestly, when you're playing against a team like Jefferson, you have to put it all out on the field. They're a very good and hardworking team, and I strive to be as more hardworking as them. And that whole entire game, our team was just pushing, fighting through, and seeing them do it made me want to do it. And I guess Megan, during that goal, sent over a ball to Nikki Alfano, and she sent it right over to me, and I literally fought for my life to drive to the goal, and I ended up getting a volley on that ball, and it went in, and I was honestly so excited.
You were on cloud nine during that time?
I was on, honestly, cloud nine.
I want to take you back now to your high school days at Toms River North. 4-time Class A South champion. 2018, you were first team Class A South All-Conference, first team All-Ocean County performer. Unbelievable statistics you put up throughout your high school career. You were a youth soccer champion in 2018 as well. What was kind of the moment for you when you were playing at Toms River North that it sort of clicked into you that, you know what, playing at the next level can certainly be a possibility?
If I'm being completely honest, I've always wanted to play college ball, but recent coaches in the past and everything kind of made me go a little downhill. Playing at High School North opened up a variety of I can play how I want to play. I can play and play hard. Who cares what people think? So playing in high school and having girls supporting me made me strive further and made me want to fight. And honestly, that year was probably my significant time at High School North because the following 2 years I was still struggling with the knee and ankle injury.
It's unbelievable to look at the resilience that you have. And we're going to end off with this. 2 game-winning goals in 2021, 3 game-winning goals in 2022, 5 all around throughout your entire career. The 2 words that I would use to describe you is clutch and impactful. Clutch from those game-winning goals and impactful because when you are on the team, you are near unstoppable. To you as a soccer player, what are kind of the 2 words that you feel like would be synonymous with your game in terms of how you play?
Hardworking, and I would stay with the impactful term that you used. Definitely hardworking because I just want to strive for not only myself, but for my team and my coaches, and I want to make everybody proud around me. And impactful because I want to leave an impact on the field. I want to leave a name for myself here at Caldwell University, for my team, for everybody to remember who I really was as a player on and off the field.
My second season was honestly one of the best seasons I've actually ever had in my entire life. It was so good. I was so happy with my outcomes and everything. It just led me to strive for better outcomes. I could do so much better this season. It gave me so much motivation.
Welcome back to the Cougar Spotlight podcast. Our guest in studio today, a 2025 captain of our women's track and field roster. She finished within the top 10 in the CACC championships in the 100 meters, although she certainly is looking to finish on the medal stand this year. Chennaya Tschopp in studio today. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing, Nick?
I'm doing outstanding. Thank you so much for coming in today. We know your season's just starting right around the corner this Saturday, the St. Peter's Relay Invitational. Before we get started with the other questions, let's start off with that. How are you feeling coming into your 3rd season of collegiate track and field?
I am really excited. I'm looking forward to this season. I'm excited. I'm ready. I can't wait to train some more, and I'm feeling really good.
Good job. You're named captain as a junior, one of the very few women's captains on this roster, and you stood out above the pack. What did it mean for you to get that distinction?
I am so appreciative to be named captain, and I think that's a big role and an important role to me. I think leadership is one of the many traits that's important to lead this team and to lead everyone else. So I'll be doing good at that.
As your teammate, obviously, we're going to break the fourth wall here for a second. As your teammate, I've seen the star power. I've seen how great you are. Last year, though, you were almost a completely different animal to what we've seen. 2 first-place finishes in the 100, and then you just randomly, in the last meet of the season, decided, I'm just going to go in the 400, and you came in 3rd place. Reflect on your second season here at Caldwell. What did it mean for you?
My second season was honestly one of the best seasons I've actually ever had in my entire life. It was so good. I was so happy with my outcomes and everything. It just led me to strive for better outcomes. I could do so much better this season. It gave me so much motivation.
That's incredible, and I've seen your practices so far. You're looking better than ever this season. Faster, stronger all around, and you certainly looked the part last year coming in from your freshman year. We'll start with that before we go to last year's CACC championships, but your freshman year, 14th in the 100-meter, your first trip to conferences. Walk us through that day. What was kind of going through your head freshman year?
God, that day was I was freshman year, I was nervous, I was overwhelmed. I feel like that 14th place finish, I was so unhappy with. I was just like, wow, like what went wrong? I think the whole like coming in as a freshman, I was so new to this. And I just feel like under all that pressure, I choked. I completely choked. I didn't do as good as I wanted to. I was not even close to my PR that race, but honestly, like coming up from that, I came into my second season like even better. I was like, okay, I'm not going to choke this time. And that's how I did so much better in the CAC last season.
Yeah, going in, you managed to qualify for the actual final race
Yeah.
in the 100 meter last year. The jump from 14th to 6th was staggering. What kind of changed from the off season, from your freshman year to your sophomore year? What did you alter how you worked out? Did you maybe change up something with the diet? What changed for you to be able to make that big of a jump?
I feel like I was just the 14th place I was so unsatisfied with. I was like, I'm going to change this. It's like running, competing, it's all mental. Like, and it's an individual thing. It's only up to you to change how you perform, or else you're not going to make a difference. So in the off season, I trained so much more. I was hitting the gym so often that once I was going into the season last year, I was so much stronger. Like you could see it from the first meet to the last meet. Like I had such a big improvement. I PR'd in like tremendously. And I was so happy with it because that was something I thought I would never reach.
We'll talk about your PRs in just a second, but I want to take you back to high school, your days at Belleville High School.
Oh, the good old days.
The good old days indeed. 6th in the NJSIAA sectionals, North Group, groups 2 and 3 in the 100 meter, 9th in the 200. You currently, as it stands, I went and checked this, you are 3rd and 5th all time in Belleville High School's 100 and 200 meter dash. What was kind of the moment for you when you reflect back that it sort of clicked in that maybe it is possible that I can actually go, not just compete at the next level, but be great at the next level?
I feel like, number one, I want to give it to my coach, who is herself a Caldwell alumni. Shout out to Miss Joanne Pareco. She inspired me in high school. I mean, I was one of the very few runners in Belleville High School, girl runners, female runners. So I feel like she really gave me the potential that I needed to continue on. And just from there, I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. She told me to go to Caldwell, too, and reach out to the coach and stuff. And then I ended up here.
That's unbelievable. Also, should note you're also part of the 4th all-time in the 4x100 and 200 meter dash at Belleville High School. So you should feel very, very proud about that.
Yeah.
I now want to go to your PRs. 12.65 in the 100 meter. That was achieved last year at the conferences. In the final race, you actually crushed your PR to put you in 6th place. You still have yet to break your 200 meter PR. 26.86 is your PR from high school. I wrote down one of the first things I said when I was getting ready for your interview is you are just so consistent in every race you do. Everything you do is consistent and precise. That's the other big thing. Was there something from your high school days, or maybe you just altered when you came to college? Was there something in not just your training, but also in your technique that has really allowed you to hit those numbers?
I feel like the fact that I do still, my PR is still from high school in the 200, I feel like I shifted and I have been focusing more on the 100. I haven't been focusing too much on the 200, but I still train for both of them as much as I possibly can. Of course, my goal is to break my 200 PR, and this season I will be doing that. And and the 100, my goal is to get the school record.
I have all the faith in the world and all the confidence in the world that you can absolutely break that. We're going to end off with this. We're going to take you back to the very beginning of this interview when I said you were named captain. You talked about your leadership. You are certainly a fun and energetic presence at practice. You always bring in the energy. I put down, you're so youthful and you're so just confident in just yourself and you're so comfortable in your own skin. When you have to lead this amazing group of women that you have on your roster, when you have to lead them and times get tough and they are looking towards you, in your mind, who is the person that you look to when things get tough for yourself, that you look to as guidance? That way you can take their leadership traits and be able to display it towards the other ladies.
Like in general, like in my personal life?
It could
like
be in your personal life. It could be a former coach. It could be just you've always had these traits from the beginning. When times get tough, who do you rely on personally to get you through them?
I would say number one would be my mom. My mom is like everything to me. She's so strong. She's the strongest woman I know. And all her traits are reflected in me. So like when people see these amazing traits in me, like they come from my mom.
On behalf of Athletics and Communication and Media Studies, we want to thank you all so much for tuning into the Cougar Spotlight podcast. Be sure to follow Caldwell Athletics on all of our social media pages so you don't miss an update and an upcoming show release. Be sure to follow us on the CACC network as well so you never miss an episode. I am Nick Iacovo. Thank you all so much for watching episode 5 of the Cougar Spotlight podcast, and take care.